Hello and welcome back to the Cumry Nerd Cave with myself, Dreadwind. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. It's been a little while, but I am back. I just had like a week off because I was having work done to the house, so I couldn't really do anything for the bang 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 in the background. So all done now, so I'm back. And yes, hello, back with something a little bit different. But first, a little bit of admin. On my last video, the Thundercracker video, I had someone leave a few questions. Noda Hanshin. Hello, Noda. Glad to see you're still listening to the podcast and watching the videos. Don't know why. I mean, come on now. Get a grip. But they left some questions, so I thought I'd answer them on video. Why not, eh? So, Noda, first question he said is, how did you become How did you become a Philadelphia sports fan? Right, well, I have often been interested in American sport, but never really had a team or a city or anything like that to support. But I was in the market for one last year and happened to see the Goldbergs on telly, and it was actually the Flyers. People do know that I do like the Flyers. Boo, they didn't get past the Pens. Fuck the Pens! They didn't get past the Pens, but Barry Goldberg is a huge Flyer supporter, and I saw the symbol and I saw the orange and kind of fell in love with all that and thought, Philadelphia, there you go. I like the Goldbergs, it's a fun series, why not? So when I go in, I go all in. So yes, Eagles, that makes you look a real bloody glory supporter as well, does that? Because they've never won the Super Bowl. They've won titles, but they've never won the Super Bowl. And the season I start supporting them, they win the bloody Super Bowl. So it makes me look like a right glory supporter. But I was supporting them at the Super Bowl. I had the shirt on, I had my Eagles cap on. People who were around at that time will attest to that. I was shitting myself and shouting at the telly at 2 o'clock in the morning, saying, come on now, fucking Pats. But we won, so great stuff. Happy about that. And the Phillies seem to be doing quite well. Like I say, the Flyers, not so well, but the 76ers seem to be doing okay as well at the moment. So yeah, mainly the Flyers and the Eagles, if I'm being honest. But I'm pretty much all in on Philadelphia. So that's why. There's no great massive reason, but I will try and be loyal to them. Whereas I haven't been before, I've often sort of said, oh, I like this team, I like that team, and sort of had a passing interest. But the last season I was really into it, so we'll hopefully stay on that path, and Philly will be my team. Number 2, do you have any of the old videos from your former channel? I can't bloody speak. From your former channel, Dreadwing? They were awesome and I'd really love to rewatch them. Sadly, no, I don't. The reason being is a couple of years ago, YouTube just decided to say, nope, blocked, can't get in anymore, sorry. And I did have a go at them and say why, and they said, we don't know why, you just can't get back into that channel. So it's like, oh, okay then. So if you can find them on YouTube, good luck to you. But I haven't been able to find them. I don't know where they are, sorry. Well, next one's just an FYI. It was hard to find this video channel, even though I listened to Back to the 80s, my podcast. You mentioned Cumry Nerd Cave, but being a Yank, I now no idea what Cumry was or how to spell it. I eventually found it, luckily. Well, Cymru is spelled Cymru, because Y in Welsh is a vowel. And Cymru means Wales. So that's why. But there are many different forms of Cymru. That's how you spell it. If you just put Wales in Welsh, it'll take you to that. But there's like Cymru, Cymraeg, Gymru, and all kinds of things. It's all, again, it's like Japanese. It's all to do with context is Welsh. So it's very old. It's a very old language, and I haven't learnt it yet. But I do intend to, and one day I will just do this channel in Welsh just to confuse the shit out of everybody, and that will be fun. But there you go. What happened to Wheelbreaker 41? I loved his review so much. He hit all the right points. I originally found your Back to the 80s podcast because of him. Right. Long and short of it is Jeremy had stuff to do. Basically, he had shit to go through, and things happened. Like, he had a lot of toys at one point, and then there were ice storms. Quite a while back this was, there were ice storms where he lives, and basically flooded his basement and ruined all the toys he had. So that went for Burton, and then just other stuff, life happens, as you know, and he just couldn't keep up and had to sacrifice something, and sadly videos and podcasting was something that he had to sacrifice. These days he's ultra busy with his job and doing band stuff. He's in a band and he does a lot of that. And yeah, he's got a lot of stuff going on, so it is just not appropriate for him to be doing videos or podcasting. He often toys with the idea. He is still collecting, so one day he will get up off his ass and he will start doing some videos. But if you follow him on Facebook or Twitter, mainly Facebook I think he's on these days, if you follow him, then you'll see that the dude is still toy collecting, majorly in a big massive way. But I think those days are probably gone for Jeremy. I could be wrong. But you know, he's a very busy boy. Pester him if you know where he is. If you know him on Facebook and that, pester him. That's what I do. I get him on the podcast occasionally. I just pester him. I just say, "Come on, hurry up, have your ass," and eventually he'll say, "Oh, for God's sake, just to shut you up, I'll go on the podcast." But yeah, that's what happened. But I hope that answers your questions, Noda. And please do keep watching, because it's awesome that you keep watching. Today then, video today is not a Transformers video. It is going to be another of my passions, G.I. Joe. As everybody knows, I do love a bit of G.I. Joe, Stroke, Ash and Force, as well as everything else. And this is a character who is supremely silly, but I also love to bits because he is supremely silly. And it is a cartoon season 2 character, Serpentor, and this he commands. Serpentor is made in season 2 of the cartoon, and in universe it's because they finally, this is Cobra, finally get sick of Serpentor, Cobra Commander being shit. Basically, you've led us for like 60 odd episodes, you've failed every time, we're going to sort this out. Dr. Mindbender has a dream that he has to make this warrior, this super soldier, and therefore does, getting the DNA of, he says, getting his phone, it says on here, because I can't possibly remember, Julius Caesar, Napoleon Bonaparte, Attila the Hun, Philip II of Macedon, and his son Alexander the Great, Ivan the Terrible, Vlad the Impaler, Hannibal, Genghis Khan, Rasputin, Montezuma, Geronimo, Eric the Red, and Zanuth Amon Toth. He was supposed to have Sun Tzu's DNA as well, but that didn't happen. They managed to stop him and swap G.I. Joe. They swapped Sun Tzu's DNA with Sergeant Slaughter. So although he has all the brilliant attributes of all those generals and warriors from history, he doesn't have Sun Tzu's patience. Therefore, he's an impatient nutjob who goes around ranting, fucking flying about on his air chariot, shouting, "This I command!" In the voice of Dick Gautier, because that's the guy who voiced him. Yes, the voice of Hot Rod. He was also Jaime in Get Smart, I believe, was Dick Gautier, which is awesome. Maybe they should get Patrick Warburton, who played him in the modern film, to do Serpentor's voice at some point, if they ever do another bloody cartoon. In comic, he was a bit different. He was just basically a super soldier. He was the Cobra Emperor, but he was never held in the high esteem that he kind of was in the cartoon, although by the end of season 2 they were sick of him. But in the comics he was basically killed. He joined G.I. Joe's team for a bit to team up against Fred 7, who was at that point pretending to be Cobra Commander, and then he was shot in the eye with an arrow and died. And that was basically it. Larry Hama didn't have any time for the Cobra Emperor, I don't think. But then the comics were a lot different than the cartoon. The cartoon was very cartoony, whereas the comic books had a harder edge to them. They were not fun, super happy fun time. They were quite grim sometimes. Like the time they lined up loads of G.I. Joes around a pit and shot them in the head. Nice. Yes, the cartoon was much lighter in tone. So yeah, although he was a ranty asshole, He lasted until the end of season 2. Then G.I. Joe the movie, he was in that with the Cobra laugh stuff. And then come Operation Dragonfire, Deke had no time for him. Hasbro would bring out a new toy, so that they basically turned him into a massive iguana and had him run off into a forest with Naugahyde, the Dreadnought, running after him. That was basically it. But he was a great character in season 2. He was something different, because it was true that Cobra Commander had sort of failed them a lot, and they kind of needed someone different. And at the start it was all lovely and happy and, oh, this guy's great. And then they sort of realised very quickly that this guy wasn't any better than Cobra Commander. He's just ranty shouty, do this or I kill you. What are you going to do? Nothing. Do it. This I command. Brilliant. Brilliant. In the comics in IDW, however, he was very different indeed. He's a lot sort of scarier and creepier. He's a guy called Stephen Manassian, who is a religious leader of the Coil, which in the cartoon was a splinter group with Cobra Commander. However, in the IDW comics, it's a religious arm of Cobra, who worship a god called Golobulus. And yeah, he kind of backs whichever horse seems to be ahead. So if Cobra Commander seems to be ahead, he'll back him. If the Baroness seems to be a bit more ahead and in charge, he'll back her. He won't sort of, he doesn't, no desire to be in command, basically. He would rather just be behind the scenes, pulling strings, which I kind of like. I like that sort of character. So he was great in the comics. There's a really good arc with Scoop, who in the comics was more of a private investigator working for G.I. Joe than actually G.I. Joe. And he comes to a very tragic end. But yeah, you should read that. You should definitely read that. But the figure, this is the 25th anniversary line one, the basic one. There was another one that they had riding his air chariot, and this isn't it. So he looks pretty much like he did in the cartoon. Some really nice detail on him, on his face especially, and his little helmet, which just come off, revealing a baldy head, which I'm not going to take off because it is a ball ache. Really, really cool. Comes with a sword, comes with some sort of little other weird weapon, and he's got all the articulation you sort of need from a G.I. Joe figure. I'm not going to show any of it because what's the point? You've already seen it in a million videos. He does also come with a cape. Who wears a cape? I'm going to cross over. I'm going to cross the street. I don't like the guy who wears a cape. But yeah, he has got a cape and it's green, and he's really rather cool. I like his armour on his chest and everything. He's got the little snakes as well, which in the movie appear to be real snakes, and these are the ones that he took off and killed Duke with. He killed Duke! He wasn't in a fucking coma, he was killed. But yes, Serpentor, very, very cool character, very cool figure. If you've got a G.I. Joe collection, you're either going to love him or you're going to hate him, because some people really, like me, kind of love season 2 and its backing nutteriness. And some people think, oh, I'm much more of a comic person, and I prefer the sort of harder edge of the comic. I like both, I'm going to be honest with you. But then I'm a bit weird like that. I'm pretty much down the middle. I like both. Did come to sort of a weird end in the Deke series, but that's the Deke series for you. Again, I like the Deke series, so people are going to really hate me for that one. But yeah, really cool figure. If you can pick it up, please do. It's a good addition to any sort of collection. You can have him in the middle with Cobra Commander just off to the side, looking all sneaky and shit. To be fair, it was the making of Cobra Commander me, season 2, I think. That's it from me. If you want to, the G.I. Joe podcast, the recap podcast, knowing season 3 it's called at the moment because of contractual issues that it has, they talk a lot about Serpentor. They also have a parody account for Pres Serpentor. In an alternate 2018, President Serpentor is now in office, and he has a lot of similar issues than another certain president of the United States has at the moment, but deals with them in very different ways. Also follow them because they're really good. I'll leave a link down below. Be sure to tell them that I sent you. Other than that, please do listen to Back to the 80s podcast. Please do also follow the Transformers YouTube community on Facebook. And yeah, I should be back next week with another video. Probably Transformers, I would imagine, but you never know. And yeah, please do take good care of yourselves and each other. Until next time, bye-bye for now.